Welcome to today's episode of Locke, Consent, and Property, Rethinking Political Obligation. I'm your host, and today we're embarking on a fascinating journey through the ideas of John Locke, a pivotal thinker in political philosophy. We'll explore how his theories shape our understanding of government, individual rights, and the fundamental concept of consent. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's dive deep into the world of political thought.
Starting off, let's focus on the historical context. A significant backdrop for Locke's writings is the Glorious Revolution of 1688 in England. This event saw Parliament effectively depose King James II and invite William and Mary to the throne. Many scholars argue that Locke's second treatise of civil government was crafted with this very occasion in mind. So, what exactly does this mean for us today?
Right? While some might suggest Locke's work was a manifesto for this revolution, it's more nuanced than that. Locke actually endorsed the revolution and aimed to present a theory that could coexist with the existing English political structure, which was a mix of monarchy and aristocracy. It didn't aim to erase old systems entirely, but sought to adjust the powers of the monarchy within the framework of parliamentary supremacy. It's a remarkable moment where the need for a government aligned with the people's consent emerges.
Absolutely. And Locke's notion of government begins with his idea of the state of nature. In this state, individuals are free and equal, governed not by a sovereign authority, but by the law of nature, which Locke believed derived from human reason. Interestingly, he argues that government, then, is formed when individuals consent to come together, establishing a social contract. This concept of consent is critical since Locke maintained that if people consent, they agree to be governed. A beautiful and drastic shift from divine right or mere force, isn't it?
Exactly. Consent legitimizes authority. It's important to differentiate between explicit consent, an active agreement to follow laws and rules, versus tacit consent, which is implied through enjoying the benefits of a community, like property ownership or protection under law. So, when Locke asserts that any government must have the consent of its subjects, it's both a revolutionary and a practical idea.
Now, why is this notion of consent and political obligation so significant? Locke believed that individuals are obligated to obey governments because they have authorized that community to act on their behalf for the common good. He articulates this connection between personal rights and governmental authority, suggesting that rulers are trustees of the people's rights, not owners. This is a key distinction that reinforces the idea of limited governmental power.
And speaking of limits, Locke was adamantly against absolute monarchy, arguing it actually worsened the conditions of subjects compared to that hypothetical state of nature. A legitimate government must be bound by known laws that apply equally to everyone, securing lives, liberties, and estates. This leads to discussions surrounding the limits of power and the crucial role of legislative authority, particularly through a representative form that mirrors the people's will.
Now, let's delve into one of Locke's most controversial theories, his view on property. To Locke, property is not just about physical possessions. It is a natural right that stems from one's labor. When individuals mix their labor with natural resources, by farming land or creating goods, they rightfully claim ownership. But it's not a free-for-all. He stipulates important conditions to avoid spoilage and ensure enough resources remain for others. This is where it gets tricky. The introduction of money allows for larger accumulations of property, potentially leading to inequalities that Locke did not initially seem to account for.
Exactly, and this is where some critiques arise. As Locke's theory evolved, it transformed from aiming for egalitarian equality in the state of nature to seemingly endorsing a society structured around significant property ownership disparities. In Locke's time, England was rife with entrenched land ownership, and his theories provided a moral justification for these inequalities, making them seem natural, even deserved. This introspection into the state of property can spark a broader conversation around economic rights versus natural rights.
Moving forward, we confront the tension Locke introduces. While he speaks of equality, his political order often served a propertied class that succeeded in maintaining its authority through a restricted parliamentary franchise. The voices of those without property were largely muted. So, while Locke's notion of consent applies to the governed, Was it truly universal? And to what extent did it represent a faction of society rather than the entire populace?
Fantastic point. This leads us to a critical aspect of Locke's philosophy. He configures the doctrine of resistance in scenarios where governments fail their people. If a government violates rights or governs without law, Locke argues that citizens not only have the right, but perhaps the obligation to resist. The Glorious Revolution serves as a paradigmatic example. James II breached constitutional norms. Thus, the populace felt justified in acting against him. This revolutionary potential embedded within Locke's framework is intriguing, as it paves the way for later democratic movements.
Indeed, while contemporary society grapples with Locke's legacy, it's crucial to recognize the dual edge of his theories. While he laid foundational principles for constitutional monarchy and governance aligned with popular consent, his theories also inadvertently supported a class of property owners, often masking deeper inequalities. Reflecting on this legacy and how it intertwines with modern political thought is vital, which brings me back around to those reflective insights.
As we wrap up, let's revisit some key ideas from today. We've traversed the relationship between government, consent, and property in Locke's thought. From the state of nature, a realm of natural rights, to political authority derived from consent, it's evident that Locke envisioned a society where the government acts as a trustee of its citizens' rights. His theory of property, while groundbreaking in its association with labor, also exposed the potential for systemic inequality within society. There's much to think about moving forward, particularly regarding how Locke's ideas are interpreted and implemented today.
Indeed, Locke's work is a reminder of the complexities surrounding consent and equality in governance. His ideas of justified rebellion still resonate, as does the challenge of ensuring that political authority genuinely reflects the will of all people, not just a privileged few. For our next episodes, we'll explore how later philosophers, from Rousseau to modern liberals, challenged or built upon Locke's legacy. Thank you for joining us today.
We hope you found today's discussion enlightening. Don't forget to tune in next time for another deep dive into the tapestry of political thought that shapes our understanding of society today. Until next time, be sure to engage critically with the ideas around you.